Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm leading you step by step through the ABRSM theory grades. We're really cracking on through this ABRSM Music Theory and Practice grade 1. We're nearly at the end of this now. There are loads of resources available to help you if you go to my website sharonbill.com. There are some free PDF information sheets in US letter or A4 which accompany each step of this series. I'll be referring to these sheets ad infinitum really, so do access those. There's also a page which links to all of my YouTube tutorials, and you can also find some information about the books that I have available. As it is that we're coming to the end of this, you may be thinking of taking the exam, and I've written a how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. This is for grades 1, 2 and 3. Grades 4 and 5 will be out shortly, and it's absolutely full of tips and techniques and how to best prepare for the ABRS exam, and then when you're actually in the exam room, how to best make use of that exam time to get the best results possible in your exam results. So please do check those out. And so we're now on to what I've referred to as section Q. So if you refer to your download sheets and you just find section Q, I'm going to be making reference to this. And if you turn in your Music Theory and Practice workbook, turn to pages 27 and 28, you'll see we're talking about performance directions. Now there's no actual exercise here on pages 27 and 28, it's just literally a long list of Italian terms and also some music symbols that you need to be familiar with. If you play an instrument, chances are you've come across quite a lot of these already in your performance, but they just need to be learned and revised. However, just because there are no actual exercises, that doesn't mean there's no work to do. In fact, I think this is quite a labour intensive section because I can't stress enough how important it is to learn these. So I'm just going to write a letter Q so you know to refer to sheet Q in this. Now as you work through the grades, the information is always accumulative. So when you get to grade 2, there will be another list of these Italian terms and performance directions, and they will be in addition to these. So in grade 2, you will still need to know all of grade 1 terms. And so just think, if you don't really make much of an effort, and then by the time you get to grade 5, you will need to know all of grade 1, all of grade 2, all of grade 3, all of grade 4 and all of grade 5. And if you left it all to the last minute, that's quite a lot to suddenly revise and catch up on. And actually in the later grades we do add in some French and German as well. So it's really worth taking the time to get to know these terms quite thoroughly. Now I suggest, although it's a logical idea, to itemise all of these terms in alphabetical order, that's not perhaps the best way to learn them. So I suggest you get yourself a piece of file paper, or on your computer you can do the same thing. And then if you just see on this sheet Q, I've given you an idea of how to collate all of these terms into thematic groups so that you can get a handle on how to remember them. Because if you notice, adagio means slow. So also does lento. That also means slow, whereas that's not immediately obvious on this alphabetically organised list. And so I would go through the whole list over these 2 pages, pages 27 and 28, and collate them in thematic groups. You can even colour code it, whatever it is that helps you best to remember how to learn these. And when you feel like you've got them going, I often play hangman, a little word game, play all sorts of word games and get people to test you so that you get a really good working knowledge of these. And so, for example, in this slow group you may want to include adagio and lento, which both mean slow, andante means at a medium or at a walking speed. Rallentando and ritardando both mean gradually getting slower. Ritenuto is kind of similar, it just means held back. It's a bit more of a pulling the reins on than a gradual winding down. Oftentimes these words will make sense because think about retardando. If you think you retard something, when you put the brakes on in the car, you retard the engine speed. So that kind of makes sense. And then if we just move on to the next group where we're talking about things related to quickness of tempo or speed, accelerando is gradually getting quicker, and that's easily associated with the word accelerate. Allegro is quick, literally cheerful, and so allegretto is a derivative of that word, which is fairly quick, but it's not as quick as allegro, the root word. Forte is loud. Fortissimo, double F, is very loud. And when we have issimo on the end of a word, that just means more so. And so piano is quiet, P. Pianissimo is very quiet. So that issimo can be applied in various guises and so on. And so you will group them in ways that make sense to you. And I do suggest that you do that. And also, because I'm not one to miss a trick, if you turn in your information book over the page, sorry, I just wafted that there, I've given you a little test. And I'm trusting you, don't cheat, literally test yourself. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong, no one's checking up on you, but it's much, much better to test yourself and get it wrong and learn by your mistakes. I've just confused the camera by wafting there. Never mind. So do go to that test sheet and also keep going through these. Now, there are other ways of making this memorable as well. So the more bizarre you make your definition, the more easily you will remember it. So for example, cantabile means in a singing style. So I would remember cantabile and just make it as extreme and operatic as you can. The more bizarre it is, the more easily you will remember it. I mentioned that issimo always means extra. Poco means a little. I used to have a little doggy and his nickname was Poco Pucissimo because he was very little and he was very extra specially cute. So issimo sort of made that sense to me. Let's just turn over the page and see if there's anything else that I can help you with. These performance directions, these symbols do often just make sense. So here we can see this is a gradually getting louder sign and it's sort of opening out as you open up the valves of volume. That makes sense. So crescendo, gradually getting louder. Diminuendo, we can see we're closing down the volume and so that's getting quieter. There is actually another word which we can use as well as diminuendo. We have decrescendo, which is kind of like a reverse crescendo, so that means the same thing, so just watch out for that there. Perhaps we can look at this here, the metronome markings. This is for Beelzel's metronome, who invented the metronome, and it literally is a tick that stays in time and helps the musician to play in time. And so we've got the unit that we're counting in and the number of beats per minute, and you need to combine both of those concepts into your answer. So it would be 72 crotchet beats per minute or 72 quarter notes per minute. And so you need to make sure you combine both of those. So for example, if it was crotchet equals 60, that would be 60 crotchet beats per minute, which would actually translate into 1 click or 1 beat per second. I think the other thing to think about, we've got the repeat markings, and if we just go back, we need to just watch out for these here. Da capo, DC, means repeat back to the beginning. Dal segno means go back to the sign. So a piece of music might not want you to go all the way back, and so it's just a little bit of a sign. And then usually you would continue going until fine, which is the end. And so you just have to be a little bit careful with those. So please do test yourself. There we go. We know the computer doesn't like that at all. There we go. I think it's because it's got thin typing and you can see the page underneath. And actually, just whilst we're on that, you can see the back page. I've given you a piano keyboard just for your reference to help you if you're drawing it out and all of those other exercises. And even in your exam, I do suggest you draw out a piano keyboard. And so that's the end of that section. We've got some revision exercises to come up that I'll help you with in the next videos, but do really make the effort with those. I hope that's been helpful to you. Thanks for watching. If you can give me a thumbs up and a like, that'd be fab. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll be sure to keep updated. Do go to sharonbill.com and find all the resource that's available to you there. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.